All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, May 30th. We got game number 5 of the Western Conference Finals to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, I'm going to give you my lean on the spread. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. And I also have a same game parlay at the end of the video. If it hits, we'll give away $50 to someone in the comments. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment. Like I said, I'm gonna give you my lean on the spread, total, player props, all that stuff. But all my final plays, so I'm actually rolling with myself, those will be in the pinned comment. Our final plays last game, we split a unit for both plus money for Daniel Gafford's under in points, lost on the hook. We also had his under in points plus rebounds, lost on the hook. So that was absolutely unfortunate. A half point / rebound and a half point killed us there. The ride of the day also does not come through. Nas over 18.5 PRA is what we wanted. Nas Reed ended up with, let's see if I can refresh my memory, 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. Kind of an anomaly bad game for him based on what he had been cooking up. So shout out to Juan for the ride of the day attempt, but we had to drop the womp womp as that one does not come through, meaning the ride of the day is up for grabs. All you have to do is use hashtag ride of the day in the comments. Give me an absolute banger of a play, and I'll be jumping aboard with one person's pick, giving you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. If you win, we continue to ride with your picks. But go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. You guys have been super supportive as of late, which I cannot say thank you enough. I know I say it in like each and every video, and it probably sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, but man, oh man, I'm so thankful for the position you guys have put me in. But before I start getting all sappy and tears running down my face, let's talk some hoops here. Timberwolves didn't get swept. They win game number 4, right? And now they're 4.5 point favorites here in this one. The total's at 209. When it comes to the spread, well, first off, Luka is game time decision, so that's worth noting. Mike Conley, game time decision. Derek Lively, also game time decision, sat out last game, so injuries worth noting there. But I do think that Dallas, I don't know if they get the job done and win the game tonight, but that spread for a team that has outplayed Minnesota, or I guess you could say outplayed because they won the first 3 games, okay? I do think that 4.5 could be a little bit too much here. Even in that win against Dallas in game number 4, right, where Minnesota had a huge lead and they looked like they were cruising, they allowed Dallas to come back in and they win by 5 points. So I think that this is a Dallas team that's going to keep it close, and they have the firepower to keep it close, and we've seen that in pretty much every single game thus far, except for game number 3, right? These were all games that were decided within 5 points or less. So getting a 4.5 point spread here, I'm going to give it to Dallas. Give me Dallas plus the 4.5 points. I do think that there's a strong chance Dallas closes it out today. It's almost like they were so sweep bound and Minnesota got like the gentleman's win. And, you know, if things kind of snap back to where they were, Dallas probably pulls this one out. So if you like Dallas, I don't hate which, again, I like Dallas. Minus 105 for 4.5. I think it's a decent price. But if you like Dallas, I don't hate them. A little sprinkle on the money line either, plus 165. We've been pretty much liking Minnesota all series long, right? And we liked them last game. That cashed. It was just a lean, but kind of weird to flip now. But I've just seen enough good Dallas basketball, even them hanging in a game in which Minnesota looked like they were going to kind of rock with that one, and Dallas almost wins it. They get the lead back and everything like that. 4.5 points just seems like it's too much as of right now. But again, guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment. That is a lean as of right now. I doubt I'll switch up to Minnesota, but in terms of if you want to fade me truly or you think that I'm a dummy or we get the comments, this guy clearly doesn't watch the games. Okay, yeah, I've never watched a basketball dribble in my life, but all my plays will be in the pinned comment. If you think I'm an idiot, just go check out that pinned comment. You can do the opposite of whatever I say. In terms of a total, we've seen plenty of these games have high scoring, right? In fact, all 3 of Dallas's wins were over this mark, so I'm going to lean towards the over as well. I think that both teams can give you, 108 plus, which is obviously more than enough here, or at least 105 plus, which would also be more than enough. So give me the over in this spot as well, even when Minnesota really tried to lock down defensively and whatnot. They still allowed triple digits, which I get it. Dallas is a really good offense. But if Dallas is going to pull this one out, I think this one's probably more or less like the games that we saw earlier on, 109 to 105, 109 to 108, or even if it is a close 4.5-point game, similar score. So give me the over in this spot as well. I think Dallas knows that's how we're going to beat Minnesota. And Minnesota, if Dallas is trying like that to stay alive, Minnesota's going to have to try and score. I don't think they can totally rely on just a defensive ball game. Now let's go ahead and jump into some player props here. I have 3 player props that I'm considering. A couple of them plus money plays, one of them a plus 150 play. And then we're also going to get into our same game parlay, which we'll talk about in just a second. But player prop number 1. Now, I know he is on the injury report, a little banged up, obviously, but I'm liking Mike Conley over 12.5 points for plus 106 odds. DraftKings and FanDuel have this at plus money. Caesars MGM have it in the minus. I don't mind his over points and rebounds as well. You could see in this series here, he's hit in 3 straight games and in 3 of the 4, but I kind of like his points a little bit more here. He's shooting the ball 10 times a game over his last 3, right? And also shooting plenty of threes. He could go out there and make 2 threes easily. So I think it's a good spot for him. You've seen him get the minutes. Like, look at these minutes in the last 5, right? 30, 33, 30, so last 5 games, 34 minutes, right? What he did on the season to this line when he plays 34 minutes, 56% hit rate. Last 10 here, or excuse me, last 5, 4 of his last 5 games, he's hit the over in points when playing 33 plus minutes. So I like Mike Conley, especially for plus money. The only issue is that he is injured, right? So it's like, or he's a game time decision. Moving on, we get Derek Jones over 8.5 points. He's done it in 2 straight games here in this series. And what I like is he's actually knocking down threes. He has 5 threes in his last 2 games. I don't think he does that again, but for him to maybe hit 1 or 2 threes, and even his 3 line here is really juiced at minus 198 and minus 200. If he hits 2 threes, I think he's well on his way to being able to score 9 points for nearly even odds. So Derek Jones over 8.5 points here is also a spot that I'm looking at. And by the way, guys, the tool that I'm showing and using on the screen is called Outlier. With the link in the pinned comment, you're going to get 7 days free. After that, it's $19.99 a month for everything you're seeing. So it's also a really good priced tool. You're pretty much getting it for the amount of information you're getting. $19.99 is absurd. But you know what? Don't tell them I said that. Just go check it out for yourself. But 7 days free. Go check that out. Link in the pinned comment. But yeah, Derek Jones Jr. over 8.5 points. Now here is the flyer. Jaden McDaniels over 1.5 assists for plus 150 odds over on one of my favorite books, BetMGM, which we'll talk about in just a second. This is a guy that over his last 10 is averaging 3 potential assists. Over his last 5, 3.4 potential assists. And what I like is he's had some of these games. He's had a couple games even in this series in which he had 2 assists. I know he's come up short, 0 potential assists last game. For this game, though, the fact that he ended up with 0 is kind of crazy. This seems like a worthwhile long shot for plus 150 odds. So again, I can't sit here and tell you, oh my God, he's going to go out there and crush it. No, I mean, this is a plus 150 play for a reason. But for him to be able to just have 2 assists and kind of stay on pace with his potential assists here and capitalize, I don't mind that plus 150 price tag. So that is what it is as of right now. Keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if we ultimately end up rolling with those plays. But let's go ahead and jump into the same game parlay. In the same game parlay, we're throwing it in over on MGM. I've talked about MGM for a while now, guys. Their same game parlay odds blow my mind each and every time. I have a 4-leg same game parlay that I'm going to show you in a couple seconds. And the price difference between MGM, FD, and DK is absolutely absurd. If you guys do want to sign up for MGM, I have a link in the pinned comment. It'll be the first link in the pinned comment. And look at that deal for first-time bettors. Up to $1,500 paid back if your first bet doesn't win. And kind of risk-free, wouldn't you say? So if you want to roll with this same game parlay, or if you just want to make any other play yourself, you can get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if that bet does not win. But let's jump into this same game parlay. Again, these odds are absolutely crazy here. This is the parlay. 4 legs plus 225. In fact, actually, let me log in, see if we have any sort of a boost here, because that would be great. They're throwing out boosts left and right as well. So if you were to sign up, I'm sure that they would go and give you some sort of a promo as well. But add promo, let's see, 50% odds boost. Let's go. I think $25 is probably the limit for this one. But all right, so this is a plus 225 parlay. Luka to score 25 plus points, so over 24.5 essentially. Anthony Edwards to do the same thing, 25 plus. Karl Anthony Towns to score 15 plus, and then PJ Washington 2+3s. Over on FanDuel, oh, you mean that exact same parlay for plus 173? Yes, plus 225, plus 173. DraftKings, plus 184 for the same exact parlay, guys. These odds are absolutely absurd, and we're getting it now at plus 337 with the odds boost there. So if this parlay hits, we're going to give away $50, all right? $50 to someone that comments parlay in the comments. And if you have a Twitter or Instagram, please let me know that you guys have, what your username is and which platform you're talking about. So an ideal comment for this would end up being, parlay at FGuyBoston on Twitter type of thing, or FGuyBoston on Twitter, which is my Twitter. So that's the ideal way to enter, guys. I want to be able to reach out and get in contact and make these payments smoothly. We've hit 3 of these in the last couple weeks. So, there's definitely a strong chance that we hit this. And I don't think that one's all that crazy. All very, very doable. But nonetheless, guys, go check out BetMGM. That link, again, is in the pinned comment. You get this deal. Those odds are absolutely absurd. And the fact that we're getting these boosts every single day, pretty much we do one of these, absolutely great. So MGM's a great book. I know a lot of people rely on the other 2 big ones and use just one sports book, but if you don't have MGM right now, throw it into your arsenal. You always want to odd shop and everything like that. Imagine hitting that same parlay on FanDuel for plus 170 odds, and you get it for plus 225 over here and boosted to plus 337. That's a no-brainer to me. But anyway, guys, go ahead and check it out and use that parlay or comment parlay to enter the giveaway here today. And appreciate the hell out of everyone that tunes in. Hopefully this parlay hits. Hopefully some of these plays hit for us here. We've had a great NBA season. Looking forward to recapping it in a couple days because it's almost the end of the month here. But before I start ranting and rambling, I'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.